Mia cucina in Italian means my kitchen, and today I have a deliciousness. Turmeric chicken with asparagus is such a simple, easy dish that before you know it, it's over. Pero la prima cosa che dobbiamo fare è prendere il faddale. So the first thing that we need to do is to put on the apron. And I have a beautiful apron. My daughter got me this, and it says Mom's Kitchen, seasoned with love. And I really, really love this faddale. And then my dear friend sent me this other beautiful sign that says Elena's Cucina, and I have all my yumminess in there. And so this recipe starts out with 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my pan on here, and I'm just going to have it on low because I want my pan to start getting warm. To this pan, I am going to add a good, 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil here. I'm just watching it. Oh yes. So as that is doing this thing, it's glistening, doing this thing, I want to bring your attention to chicken tenders, and that's what I have right here. So I'm going to put those over here on the side. But what I have here is I'm going to go through the ingredients first. I am using 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil. I am going to be utilizing a 1/3 cup of coconut flour, and this is what I have here. This is going to be a gluten-free dish. I'm also going to be adding to this beautiful 1/3 cup to a 1/4 cup of coconut flour, depending on how big your chicken strips are. I am going to be adding to this a tablespoon of turmeric, a tablespoon of granulated garlic, a teaspoon of salt, and a teaspoon of black pepper, and I'm just going to kind of mix it all together just like that. Just like that. Mix it all together, super easy. And that's what's going to go right into our flour. Right into our flour. And I'm just going to be mixing this because I'll get to the next ingredients as I am going to go over everything else. A lot of people, they don't know that they can utilize if they're having, gluten sensitivity. I do this, I fry a lot. I don't fry a lot. I don't do a lot of frying, but when I do use coconut flour. I can use rice flour, so I'm just going to put these little guys right in here like so. I want these guys to coat very well. Not too much coating, so they all should fit in here. I always try to get something that kind of goes with what I'm using as far as, the container. And I'm just going to lightly brush them, or not brush them, but lightly coat them. And that's what I'm doing. I'm also going to change. Now I'm going to turn my temperature of my pan on a higher note now, because I want that oil to start getting nice and hot. I don't want to burn these guys. And see, just lightly coat them like so. Very easy transaction. Put them right on top of each other there because they're doing fine. And yes, you can use coconut flour, guys, because the coconut flour, the chicken is not going to taste like coconut flour. So I just really want these guys to do its thing. I want to wait for my oil to start glistening, to start getting hot, because I don't want to put any cold chicken. Now, I took the chicken out of the refrigerator 15 to 20 minutes so it'll come to room temperature. Because the last thing you want to do is to get your chicken right out of the refrigerator and then cook it, because it tends to dry it out, and it tends to come, more, I don't know, stringy. I call it stringy. So now I'm going to, yes, it's doing its thing. Here we go. Turn this up a little higher. It's just taking its time. Sometimes we're in such a rush that we need to slow down. Also, to this dish, I'm going to be utilizing a 1/4 cup of honey. So again, I'm going to be utilizing a 1/4 cup of honey, beautiful honey. recommend that you buy your honey where you live. I go to a local farmer that it's around the corner from here, and her bees comes to my garden, so I know that the honey that I'm getting it's a really good honey. Especially, it's wonderful for allergies. So right now, I just want to shake this guy out, and I'm just putting it right down there so they can start getting nice and brown. There we go. Yes. Oh yes, these babies are going to be beautiful. And once you lay them down, guys, do not touch them. Do not touch them. Oh yes. Yes, yes, yes. All right, so now we are done with the flower. We are done with the wonderfulness. And then I'm just going to have my little thing right over here to keep it to the side. So now I want to bring your attention to the rest of the ingredients. I have 4 cloves of garlic that I have chopped right here. And then what I've done is I took the entire asparagus. And then what I do, guys, is the really tough pieces I throw away. But the not so tough pieces, I tend to freeze them. So what I do is when you get a big piece like that, you're going to cut them in half. And this is what's going to make your cooking, it's going to cut your cooking time in half. And that's what I have here. They're going to be ready to rock and roll. And over here again, we have a 1/4 cup of honey and a 1/4 cup also of no salt chicken stock. And what I do is when I buy my chicken, I will buy a whole chicken, I will skin my chicken, and then I will take what I need from that chicken, and then the carcass, a lot of times what I do, if I'm not using part of the carcass into my other dishes, I will use that to make my stocks and my soups. So now that we have this deliciousness, I'm just going to add just a little bit more of olive oil over here. Oh yes, they are doing their thing. Like I said, this is a very simple, easy dish. So what I have here is I have a regular plate that I'm just going to be putting all this together into this plate. Now, let me tell you a little bit about honey. Honey boosts energy. It fights coughs. So if you're having a cough with it, there's a lot of allergies going around, a little bit of lemon juice and honey. My grandmother would always do that for me. And she would give that to me, and it would help me with my cough. It acts as a sleep aid. A lot of people, they don't want to use honey because, they're worried about the sugar content. But honey is very good for a healthy skin. It helps with allergies. It controls, actually, blood sugar levels. It acts, like I said, as a sleep aid, and is antibacterial and anti-inflammatory. Did you know that about honey? Yes, it's wonderful. All right, so now my chickens they're getting so beautifully brown here. Oh yes, almost there. They're almost there. Because, we got to let it cook. And it's going to take a few minutes, guys. A few minutes. And it's making this golden hue in my pan. It's looking beautiful. Beautiful. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, yes. So what I am utilizing here is this is an anti-inflammatory recipe that it is also very good gut health. And asparagus is full of antioxidants and is an anti-inflammatory wonderful vegetable, just like like broccoli and all these other vegetables. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dish out the pieces that are really, really big, because I want to make sure that when I add everything in here, because sometimes even the heads of them are thicker than others, and you can just cut them in half. And what I do is when I'm looking to buy my asparagus, I always try to find out when they're coming into the store, and I go when I know they're coming into the store because they're nice and fresh. So now, so I can keep everything even cooking, because this is a smaller piece, I want to get in here, and I want to make the other one in half, so then that way it all cooks together. And it looks pretty nice all in here. Now the chicken, it's brown, But we are not going to take it out of here. No, what we are going to do now, guys, is we are going to go ahead and add the 1/4 cup of chicken stock. We are going to shifuli these guys together. We are going to add the honey now, right in there, right in the chicken, right with everybody in here. Yes, yes. Oh, it smells marvelous. Marvelous, darling. Marvelous, marvelous. I want to come back and I'm going to get the rest. So really, it takes a good 3 tablespoons of olive oil. I know it seems to be a lot. Just want to mix this up a little bit. And now I want to go ahead and bring my asparagus all in there like so. And I'm just going to have these guys right in here. And I just want to cook my asparagus all in here with everybody. With the chicken. Oh, yes, baby, baby, baby. So now what's happening here is all of this deliciousness, all of this is coming all together. All together. And I don't like to overcook my asparagus. It doesn't take a lot for my asparagus to cook, because remember, we have cut our time in half because we took the bigger pieces and we cut those in half. It doesn't damage the asparagus. And my asparagus, I just bought them at the store. They're nice and plump. Now, I'm going to tell you a little secret. When you come home, and whether they are organic or non-organic, okay? Get a big bowl of water, fill it with water and ice. Put your vegetables in there for a good 15 minutes. And it'll plump the vegetables, it'll rehydrate the vegetables, and they'll last longer. And then what I do is I take them out, and then I put them in a glass container with water, and put it in my refrigerator, and my asparagus will last me close to a week, believe it or not. So now this is almost done. Oh yes, it's looking beautiful, 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 beautiful. It doesn't take, like I said, it doesn't take much, guys. It's very easy and simple. Now I'm going to take my garlic and I'm going to add my garlic right in there, like so, right in there. So as you can see, very, very easy, few ingredients. We are making this deliciousness, just with few ingredients. Now, if you don't have blueberries, it's okay. The blueberries, I just like to add, because I picked 12 pounds of blueberries, which I did freeze, which I did, dried. I dehydrated them, and when you dehydrate them, they look like this. And blueberries are high on antioxidants, and they're an anti-inflammatory, beautiful fruit. Because a lot of people, they don't like to cook with fruit, but I cook a lot with fruit, especially when I know that it's going to be very healthy for them. Alright, so these guys are almost finished there. So then what I want to do now is I want to come in with black pepper. And this is very, very important to use the black pepper in here, guys. Because also turmeric, in order for the body to absorb the turmeric, if you're using a tablespoon of turmeric, use a tablespoon of black pepper. If you use a teaspoon, use the same equal amount so your body can absorb the turmeric, and it's anti-inflammatory. Oh yes. So I'm just going to do it right now like that. Okay, I'm done now. And I'm just going to put these guys right over here like so. See how beautiful that is? Oh yes. I'm going to get this rest of these guys. Hey, come back over here, because I want this. I want this deliciousness. I want this wonderfulness. That this is so healthy for me. And with the honey, it's just going to give it such a wonderful flavor. It's going to boost our energy. And with the vegetables, it's just absolutely beautiful and divine. And then what I want to do now, I had a taste, is I'm just going to clean the plate, because you know how I like to make things look pretty. And then what I want to do is I'm going to take my dry blueberries. And then I just want to put my dry blueberries. If you don't have dry blueberries and you want to use some fresh blueberries. Now, where I went to pick blueberries, they had the sweet ones. And then they had the tart ones, and the tart ones were for cooking. So what I did is I hydrated the tart one so I can add it into my beautiful dishes. Are you guys ready to look at this beautiful turmeric chicken with asparagus and these beautiful dry blueberries? Look how beautiful that looks. I want to thank all my wonderful sponsors today. You know who you are. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day. God bless.